Okay.
Hel- Hi guys, my name is Frederick John Sacramento, and my restaurant consists of a food beverage project. So, what are our concepts? What is what is it I'm trying to achieve? I mean, for me, it's just hard to tell, but it's my determination to succeed, whether short term or long term, is unknown because it's a blessing in disguise, and fate can basically make you lucky. I think what is it I'm trying to do here as much as possible? I think it was just like, what am I here to achieve as much as possible? I say I try my best to create a concept as much as possible to do something, like to plan something, to be something. So how should I start doing doing my own restaurant? I say for me, if I was gonna start a street food, maybe as a no experienced person, is to become something to offer a food to some smaller customers, to get myself a small food, and also trying to make earning or make a living on it for for a starter of making my first burger to a customer in order to make a living for it. Also, even as a starter for who's starting a restaurant with no experience, I will try to find any location or to basically find more people to get my food experience and get earnings to basically increase the profit and someday find new customers. So actually, I wanted to start as much in the bottom first before I started to basically push this idea of try my best to push to earn as much as possible and make a passion in it as much as possible. So this picture right now is I'm just creating this concept of where can I started a a restaurant. I say somewhere else in Garapan, because since it's more competitive and more competition to to get more customers, and maybe tourism would be kind of good thing. And someday I push this, like try the best to start somewhere else here or something. But if cannot, I might there's always have a second alternative way to to a map if cannot get a possible location. It's maybe like work somewhere else in a post office, or somewhere else like a a restaurant food stand as much as I can, and also try to my best to establish it as much as I could. So for my concept for my restaurant is it's either I sell from small things first, from humble origins, such as the reason why I put takeout is like basically I'm just making it's not basically a restaurant but like a a a street food that you can just buy, that you can just that you can just buy to your local food because you can't afford McDonald's. And these are the prices. Well, as much as possible, I'm trying to calculate math for for those ingredients. So I could start trying to make it not expensive, but trying to make it cheaper as much as I could, or make it fair price for someone to buy, because nobody wants to buy a $10 food, because nobody's that rich. So here are the concept of the the truck that I was trying to create a concept with, is having this safety of kitchen, and a safety of of the restaurant equipment, and as much as possible is those like getting those set up as much as I could, to basically start making customers about it. And another more of its concept is, it's not based, like I said again, it's not restaurant, but it's like a mobile truck restaurant, like a street mobile truck food, that basically do has this equipments that the staff and the chefs and the owners that they need to to function. So more people will come from great origin and from the beginning as well. For my staff members and chefs recruiting for starters, as a starter who's creating a street food, I would recruit those certain people who has more experience creating a system of 3 chefs and one in a and in those cash register, not front desk, doing the order, and also a manager for a finance, and a one head chef doing the training for recruits. Also, if I can do something to do some convincing to some investors and trying to build franchise, I can start establishing 2 fast food restaurant. So meaning that if I was a CEO, someone who's trying to create a franchise, or started out somewhere else, maybe the best thing to do is get some franchising companies to get myself draw to attention, or any food food media that can basically endorse your food to basically draw more customers, because I believe that more people who are in the influence can get you a lot of more customers, if people can basically like your food, and then more people will come. It may not be, it's hard to get from a origin, because of the due to the pandemic right now, which is trying to get much employees as much as I could, and not try to put myself for a situation of having just less of the employees. So we have this ownership. So this is basically me, the owner one. And if I don't have a co-owner, or anyone who's close by to do anything, I think I could just put manager, because since it's more better to do a lot of stuff, and try to manage all the financial bankings as much as it could. And in another lower one is the head chef and sous chef. So what's that mean? I think if we have people who have good experience and good good skill on making those best quality food, they can be more useful for those recruits that who is going through to their under training as much as possible. So like if I was hiring these guys, I could just maybe pay them more if they could basically get this revenue to generate the my own franchise. It's just a concept. So on a lower level one is basically everybody else, staff and employees and trainers. So basically these people are gonna be the ones who's gonna manage this people, this this restaurant to run as a show, and and those staff are more important because we really need a lot of staff in the restaurant industry as well as employees. For the trainers part, we're trying our best to get them get them trained as much as we could, so like people can become more fully better at learning how to cook them, learning how to do things that they need to be trained with, and also get them enough fair pay as much as it could, because as much as possible is I'm trying to establish a stability between restaurants. Grinding for money and establishing franchise. For the time being, establishing it may be difficult to maintain a full function fast food truck because it costs a lot of equipment and electricity, and it's safety hazard. Also, it's expensive to pay off. Also, I can earn enough money, maybe around 30K, to start making expansion, or I might risking get all to gamble the 2/3 of my money if the profit can pay off. So meaning is it's gotta be painful because you're gonna have to like get this a lot of food handlers permission, like 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 restaurant permission, like getting approval to start a restaurant, which is gonna be hard because you're paying all these expenses and those those safety hazards to ensure that your restaurant is clean enough, that is clean enough that it can be maintained. Also, for talking about franchising for a little bit, I think it's gonna be like a risky play if you are like the smaller person, because you may want to have to take an inspiration from other people, maybe McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts or any other food companies that tried to expand it across the country, across the globe. So what about I talk about like gambling 2/3 of my money? I say it's unless if it's a competition of risking it or losing the money of your own earnings. Yes, it's understandable that it's risky to gamble it, and it's hard to basically just go ahead and like, okay, our mo- let's just spend our money, and then you lost it all for your own investment and could not maintain anymore, and you lost your stability. That's why that's why I talk about three 300 grand. So like I just don't risk anything losing profits of it. And they said more money, more honey. So for the long run and further expansion, I say for the long run term of running fast food restaurant, I think it's maybe difficult to start getting new people, getting new customer in order to start making investment. It depends on whether I succeed or not. But at least I tried making some concepts of scenario. If I was running a business, I'd prefer to start somewhere else. And when and where to go, maybe for like 5 years or 10 years from now on. Maybe I would start making new people more influential to take inspiration to other restaurants that succeeded. So this is gonna be a hard one about long term run. I say for this concept, if I can really survive maybe 5 years, 5 years from now on, that can really push this agenda of creating a restaurant. I say it's gonna be more difficult because it's hard to get on like someone who can handle a restaurant for me, like someone who can be better than me, because like maybe like I said, like 5 or 10 years I may not be gonna be that long to run a whole restaurant empire, and it's gonna be hard for someone to run a restaurant empire unless you're starting to expand across the country, maybe like 30 or 65 in the long run. I say it's gonna be hard for expansionism because because it's a handle for those people who wants to spend their own things, create something, innovate something for the long run. And I think new people and new influence can be good, because you can basically get more people to know your product, your food, your restaurant. Maybe someday you can get a golden arcade or golden art in short. So like there's gonna be like a simultaneous open location across somewhere else in a small town of the states, or somewhere else in a province, or in a capital. Maybe you can start somewhere else. It's just you don't know where to start. It's just a concept that I'm trying to say. So for my advice for this concept is, if I was gonna make a concept right now, I'd rather start traveling to some countries that I haven't tried before, and maybe try to get fresh start of making one. Also, as much as possible, make it authentic food culture, not some commercial food, but a real actual taste. If I can make a good food, I can basically create one. It's gonna be like be good if you're gonna create your own inspiration of restaurant. I say visit some countries as much as you could to create this concept of your own vision, because I wanted because if you are a visionary, you can basically do a lot. Like I said, I could create one with commercial food, or and so talking about history about my food concept is, I think for most of us, we started it to get this. We wanted to get resources, foods as much as possible, like the things that we needed, like ingredients we needed. And for a long history, we started creating a lot of new food and new stuff to produce it for ourselves. Maybe somewhere in the new world and the old world, to North America, to Europe. And that's it. Hope you like it, whether I succeeded or not. Stop recording. Stop recording.